Or furnaces. Okay, admitting Ms. LeBoy. Admitting Ms. Warren. Good morning. My name is Judge Person. I'm going to actually let things sort of settle in because as people on board different, aspects of the technology will kick in. Welcome to the Temple Municipal Court. As I said, my name is Judge Person. I did mark down as people came into the meeting a moment ago and were waiting. So I've got people in relatively the order that they showed up. There are a few people that I need to identify. And so let me ask, let's see, her audio is not connected yet. Person with the, I'm going to ask to unmute the person with the phone number ending in 098. And I've asked you to unmute. Could you tell me who you are, please? They are unmuted, but I'm not hearing.
Hello.
Yes, hi. Could you tell me your name, please?
This is Abigail Maldonado.
Okay, Ms. Maldonado.
Yes.
All right. And then there's someone who is labeled, and Ms. Maldonado, I'll mute you again, but I do have you marked in, checked in. Brittany's phone, someone labeled Brittany's phone. Just if you, whoops, wrong person. Sometimes things move around on my screen too. On Brittany's phone, what is your name, please?
Brittany Gimbel. I'm Noah Gimbel's mother.
Okay, great. Okay. And then Estelle Allen, I'm looking for you. Are they still here? There we go. She's still working on her audio. Miss Allen, I'm not sure who you're connected to or whose case. And ma'am, you can type your answer in the chat box. I've gone ahead and added that chat feature to the meeting. Because you're not seeming to be able to connect to the audio. Okay, I will continue and move on. So we are working 2 dockets today. Before we get started, I want to tell everyone a few things. When you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have under Texas law for accusing someone. That's what a ticket is. It is an accusation. When you give a plea, you are giving an answer or a response to that accusation. And the law says that there are 3 options for entering a plea: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. If you plead guilty, you are admitting that offense. You are saying, I did this. Thank you, Ms. Allen. That's Floyd Stark. But we already have Floyd. Floyd Stark, I know who you are. You're identified. Are you also connected to Estelle Allen? Okay, so what my message was Estelle Allen, please tell me who has a case with the court today Thank you. You may type your answer. It's okay. I probably should have just read that out. So anyway, I already marked you here. Don't worry. But I don't let people in the meeting who aren't part of the court proceeding because the public can watch on YouTube. And so I'm trying to make sure that person is properly identified. They're having trouble connecting to audio, and I'm not seeing any recognition that they know what's going on in the meeting. And I might remove them and see if they'll come back in and maybe have a better connection, but I'm not quite there yet. And there's someone named Dalton trying to come in. Let me see if I can see who that might be. Okay, Miss Allen is connected to Tina Bauer. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, clerk's office. I got an answer to that. And then someone named Dalton. I don't see who that could be. Mr. Dalton, if you can connect to audio and just let me know who you are, that would help me. You're going to have to unmute yourself.
Oh.
There you go. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I am Dalton Stith. I went to the courthouse yesterday and they gave me this to call y'all on.
Okay, and what's your name again?
Dalton Stith, DaltonStith.
Thank you. We've got you on the docket. I saw that earlier. Okay, thank you, Mr. Stith. Just quickly, and I'll actually remute everybody. I do that because if I don't, we wind up hearing dogs and cats and fans and cars and horns, and it doesn't work very well. So I just want, when it's your turn, I'll definitely listen. But I wanted to call too for folks that I don't see. Danielle Khan, raise your hand if you're here. No show so far. Okay. And Kendra Kite. No, I do see you. You are here. I saw you a moment ago. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I marked you down. Jacob McDavid. Raise your hand if you're here. Tyler Meyer. And then, let's see. Hannah Friend. Ronald Hatley. Victor Martin. Right now. I hear Hannah, sorry, Mr. Martin might be coming in, we'll see. Okay, so back to what I was saying, the three options for pleading. If you plead guilty, as I said, you're admitting that offense. You're saying, I did this. Pleading not guilty is contesting the charge, which you have the right to do. I'll talk more about the direction that takes in a moment. If you plead no contest, you're allowing the court to find you guilty without admitting or denying the offense. So moving forward, if you plead guilty or no contest, we will move that case forward and advance that case today. That normally means paying the fines and costs, having it go on your record. I have some exceptions to that. I'll talk about those in just a moment. If you plead not guilty, you're contesting the charge, and that means ultimately you're asking that the case be tried against you, that the prosecutor try that case against you in open court. And we will move that in that direction, which means a scheduling. So we will schedule any motions that we need to be hearing, any what we call pretrial concerns that we need to be hearing. That is a Zoom meeting, and it's meeting today. We're actually working 2 dockets. And then we will schedule a pretrial where we finalize everything to move forward to trial, and then we schedule trial at that point. So there is a process to that, most of which we do online, but ultimately trial is trial, and we're heading to trial at that point. And we will be opening back up for trials, I anticipate, not in the too far distant future. I think that will actually come to pass. So if you're pleading not guilty, I won't hear the facts of your case today. This is not that type of docket. Really getting a jury in is a long process, and we will engage in that process from that point forward. The next thing I want to tell you is that if you're pleading guilty or no contest, we can move in the direction that your plea is taking you, which is to adjudicate the case. Now, normally, as I said, that does mean being found guilty and having it go on your record. I have some exceptions to that. So let me tell you what those are so that you're not confused about what your options might be. If you have something that can be dismissed for what is called a compliance dismissal, that is one way to gain a dismissal of the offense. I will let you know that you have that option and start moving you towards that possibility. And I think this is probably going to be Victor Martin. Let me double check. Person who just came in the meeting, ending in phone number 810. Could you state your name, please?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Hi, what is your name?
Victor Martin, I finally got through.
Excellent, Mr. Martin. Thank you. We knew you were trying, and we've started court, and I know you're not
Yeah, I
seeing.
had to use somebody else's phone. My phone, the
That's
phone
fine.
company towers that I'm using are messing up, so it's hard to use my phone.
I understand. That's really fine. I'm glad you're here. If you'll listen carefully, we're just moving along. We've got a number of people to be seen today, and you won't be forgotten. And right now, I'm giving information to the whole group. You're on the court's pretrial docket. The prosecutor is here this morning, and I'll be moving people one at a time into the prosecutor's meeting space shortly. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So back to that. If you have something that can be brought up to date and dismissed, then I will let you know. You're welcome to ask, but I won't wait for the question. I will let you know that something can be dismissed. An example, those are relatively simple, are things like a registration ticket, for example. A lot of times, if you qualify, you can bring that up to date and gain a dismissal. And that would be one of the times that I might delay your case. If it's for your benefit to delay, then I might do that if it looks like we can have a good resolution relatively quickly. And you'll hear me talk to someone about that probably at some point this morning. Okay. But I will let you know. You're welcome to ask, okay, when it's your turn. Another way to gain a dismissal, a second way, would be if you have a moving violation and you qualify to do the driver safety course option. Driver safety course option is for, you have to pre-qualify, usually a Texas resident license holder, unless you're military active or an active military dependent person, then you qualify under that provision. You can't have gone in the previous 12 months for purposes of getting a ticket dismissed, and you have to be on time to court. And you usually invoke that in your first proceeding, not a second proceeding. Sometimes the prosecutor will approve this option, sometimes not. I certainly can't bind that prosecutor to any specific recommendation, but what I will tell you is that the driving safety course option, you pay the court cost only, your fines go on hold. And if you complete the course and turn it in on time, and your driving record and turn it in on time, I dismiss the citation from your record and I waive your fine. So let me back up just a quick moment and let you know that every ticket has a court cost and a fine, okay? And when I'm talking to you, I'm giving you the whole number, okay? But when you pay in the driver safety course option, you just pay the court costs. The fine goes on hold. The court costs we must collect, that is the law in that process, because that money goes to the state of Texas, not the city of Temple. The city of Temple collects the court costs. That goes to our general ledger for things like sidewalks and the fire department and things of that nature. Okay, they don't come to the court specifically or the police department specifically. I get that question, understand it. But actually, if you follow where things go, that's where things go. So what I'll tell you then is in the driver safety course option, it represents savings. You are not spending the money on the court costs. You are paying for your class and your driving record. It will still be less expensive to do that option than to pay the whole ticket. And that is by design, because what we know from studies, and we know this really definitively, is that if you get a ticket, you move into the higher bracket of risk and injury on the roadway. If you take that course, even if you just pay enough attention to pass it, and that's about all, you still move into a safer bracket. Okay, so it's considered a positive remedial measure. And therefore, it's incentivized financially. There's a reason for that. If you are qualified to be in that process, I will let you know. Again, you're welcome to ask, but I won't wait for the questions. Some of us are more timid than others and don't know the right things to say, or we worry that we don't. And so I won't, where I can, I won't wait for the question, and I'll ask you. But if you feel like I'm missing something or you want to ask, you're welcome to ask questions. Not trying to shut that down, just letting you know the things that are available, I will talk about them openly. That's the second option for dismissal. The third would be if you gain a dismissal through a deferred disposition. A deferred disposition is a delay of finding. So you plead guilty or no contest. You request a deferred disposition. You're supposed to ask for it. Okay. And I say yes or no. If I say yes and grant it, then I put the case on hold. I put certain conditions in place. We try to do that in writing so that you have a really clear understanding of what's expected. We sort out whether there's a class. We sort out what kind of payment is happening, because those are the penalties in a Class C court, which this is, payment of fines and costs. Jail time is normally not assessed in Class C offenses. And we put in place an agreement for how that's going to look. And at the end of the deferral period, if you've met your deadlines, then I sign a dismissal. It doesn't go on your record. It keeps it from being on your record as a conviction. So that's a third option for dismissal. Yeah, third. And then the final option for dismissal would be if you qualify to be in the teen court program. If you are in high school, definitely speak up. I should be trying to ask and figure that out. Sometimes I miss folks who are in high school because maybe they're 18, maybe they're 19. Sometimes I think people are in high school because they're not, and they're not. So let me know if you're in high school. I'll try to be queuing up that question. But if you qualify for teen court, then we're going to do an alternative order. There'll be things for you to do, but the basis of the premise of teen court is that you're probably not working because you're in school, and parents paying for your fines and costs. Probably I will see you again. If you take responsibility and do things on your own to solve the problem with your parents' help and support, but you take the lead, I'm less likely to have you here again for another offense. Whether that's an arrestable offense later or a crash or something dangerous, depends on the case, okay? But with teen court, we try to address those things that got you here in the first place and have you respectfully not come back, because really I'd rather see you around town. Okay, so those are the dismissal options. I don't have hidden other options. The final option is if the prosecutor elects to ask for the case to be dismissed, and I generally will grant that if she makes that recommendation. And Ms. Warren is here. If she would just put a hand up for a moment. She is our city's prosecutor. Welcome, Ms. Warren. And I'm going to actually move you to the breakout room. And then the order I have right now is for the pretrial docket is W.C. Brentham, who is here, Cartea Bradley, who I counted here, Lilzaid Sadiq, who was here, I believe still here. I'll look. I saw that person come and go, so there's time to get them back. But anyway, Floyd Stark, who is here, Alexander Stacy, and Victor Martin. I have some no-shows. I also have Tina Bauer, who is here. So on that pretrial docket, and I'll introduce those folks to you, Ms. Warren, as we move forward. But let me go ahead and create that breakout room. So Ms. Warren is actually receiving an invitation to, let me find, got a lot of people today, so I've got to scroll more than usual. She's going to the breakout room. And then what will happen is I start with the first person, which in this case will be W.C. Brentham. Let me find Brentham. And Mr. Brentham, what will happen is you'll receive an invitation now to go in that meeting for that pretrial, which is a discussion outside of my hearing, because I don't prejudge facts. I don't listen to cases beforehand. I listen to them at trial. And so there's a reason for that breakout. That is still considered court for those going to that breakout room. Please act accordingly. I would expect that everybody has a basic understanding of what that means. And we did provide a handout to you as well. And I will move you, you won't automatically go there. I'll assign you to that meeting and you should get an invitation. After you have met with the prosecutor, you'll come back into this room and you'll do that by clicking back in, okay? If there are problems, y'all are welcome to click back in. But once that discussion is over, everyone comes back to this meeting so that we can take the next step on that case. Okay. So Mr. Brentham received that invitation. I will now move to my docket and I will work them back in when they come back out. And so I don't see anyone waiting to get in. I think that Mr. Sadiq, Gulzaid Sadiq, went out and came back in and went back out again. So I don't see anyone trying to get in right now. So I'm just going to move on forward to Raimundo Martinez. Let me find you. There you are, sir. Good morning. Let me get your file pulled.
Good morning.
Morning. My understanding, Mr. Martinez, is you are enrolled at Temple High School. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how old are you today?
17.
Okay. Are you a senior, junior?
Senior. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The two offenses I have are a no driver's license charge, which has fines and costs if you paid it of $181, and a stop sign charge, which has fines and costs of $234. On the driver's license charge, before I ask you your plea, let me ask you, did you understand the options for pleading of guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How are you pleading to the no driver's license charge?
No contest.
Okay. And as to the stop sign charge, how are you pleading?
Also no contest.
Okay. It looks like, yeah, we confirmed that you're a student. Are you in the process of getting a license?
Yes, ma'am. I plan on it after my birthday this Sunday.
Your birthday is when?
This Sunday, March 7th.
Oh, this Sunday. I thought you said in
Yes.
December. I was going to tell you
No.
that's just too long to wait.
No,
Have you taken steps to get that license? In other words, have you done the coursework required,
Yes,
done
ma'am.
the attendance? And do you have an appointment to go get your learner's permit?
No, ma'am, not yet. But
Okay.
I have it completed.
Okay. We have a couple of options. DPS is really behind right now. There's probably, I think somebody did a calculation the other day, and there's probably more than 100,000 people in the state trying to get their license. And those lines are long at this point. So I don't know if there's going to be a legislative solution to that at some point. But what I guess I'm saying is, first of all, you're not allowed to drive.
Yes, ma'am.
It's illegal. Newsflash. Okay. The second thing is what I'm inclined to do is reschedule you for you to get that appointment so that I know kind of what our timetable can be. Teen Court is available to you right now, and I think it's a really good option, but I want to see that you have a license before I dismiss anything, okay? And Teen Court is a dismissal option. And if I know that you have an appointment, then I can work around that appointment. So I'm inclined to reschedule you and not proceed yet, and move you to March 16th for a reset day for you to go and get that information and get kind of lined up. Okay. Are you prepared to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you committed? What's your level of commitment to getting these things healthfully resolved for your record and your pocketbook?
I'm very committed.
Okay. Are there people who can take you to appointments and things like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you working at this time?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. How do you get to work?
My mom drops me off there.
Okay. Where are you working?
Dynasty.
Dynasty, okay. And so, yeah, you will need to be lawfully driving, right? And the catastrophe that happens, was there an accident on this?
No, no.
Okay, you got lucky, right? You didn't hurt anybody,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? Because when you have an accident, they come after you for that coverage. And if your insurance decides, hey, you're driving illegally, not going to cover it, you're out of pocket on those damages, whether that's a bumper or a life. They don't care. They're coming after you. And it can be a catastrophe for you, for your family, for someone else as well. Okay. So rescheduling you to March 16th. Do you have a way? Sorry. Okay. Sorry, the following week. Okay. The 23rd is a Wednesday. No, it's a Tuesday. Let's go 23rd. Okay, so March 23rd. Can you be here?
Yes, ma'am. Should be
Okay.
possible.
I'm going to need you to come by the court today and sign for that unless you have a way to print, sign, and return a document to us. Are you able to print at home?
No, no.
Okay. Can you swing by the court? Can someone bring you?
Yes, ma'am.
Mom will bring you to just come in and sign.
Mhm.
Won't take you very long.
Okay.
Can we expect you before lunch?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's say before 1 o'clock. Come. Now you're going to get here and call and come in. And that way, that keeps your case on time, so you're qualified for the dismissal options. Okay? All right. And then what you're going to do is figure out everything you need. Now, go to the DPS website if you don't know what to do, because actually, they've got everything on there. They're pretty good about having it written down. But come by here and get that reset, and then come back to me with a schedule, okay? So that we don't set you up for teen court and then run out of time, okay?
Okay.
Do you understand why it's the best option?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Saves you lots of money and, gets you back to a safe place. Okay. All right. I'm going to remove you from the meeting to give you time to get on over here. And we'll see you soon, okay? Your paperwork will be at the front desk. Call when you get here. We have a regular protocol for getting in, like you're used to around town for hospital and so forth. But you can get in and we'll get you squared away, okay? Okay. Thank you. All right, we're going to move forward. With Tessa Taylor. Let me get your file pulled while you unmute. Get you unmuted. Yeah, she's unmuted. All right. Good morning, Miss Taylor. You're here with your mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And ma'am, what is your name?
Renee Taylor.
Renee Taylor. Great. Estelle Allen. Let me get them back in. Okay. So, Ms. Taylor, were you able to? I think that we sent you paperwork, and the first form had to do, and it's labeled number 1 at the bottom. And that is a magistrate warning for a juvenile. How old are you today?
15 years old.
Okay. Really, what that tells you is you're charged with the offense of possession of tobacco by a minor, which is a misdemeanor, Class C. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. You have the right to have an attorney present prior to and during any interviews or questioning by peace officers or attorneys representing the state. You have the right to remain silent. You're not required to make any statement. but any statement you make may be used against you in open court, and you have the right to stop any interviews or questioning at any time. By signing this document, you are just acknowledging that you understand these options, these rights that you have. So do you have questions about those rights?
No,
Okay. You'll have to speak up.
speak up. No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you able to sign them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll want to get that back from you signed today.
Yes, ma'am.
And then Ms. Taylor, Ms. Renee Taylor, do you feel like Tessa has an understanding of what's happening today and what she's accused of?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so the next form, which is labeled form number 2, that one is just confirming that the address we have on file is correct. I won't read your address over the internet, but it is written at the top. Is that your address in the Belton area?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the top part you would check and sign. And then we would move to page 3. This one is a little more involved. First, I want to confirm that we have your date of birth, 9/25/05,
Yes, ma'am.
and Ms. Renee Taylor, you can give us your date of birth on the paperwork itself. And by signing below, what you're acknowledging is that you understand you have a duty to keep your address current. And it would be best also to keep phone number and email current at all times until your case is completed. Otherwise, you can be held in contempt of court. Another thing that this form will tell you is that if I don't have that change of address, it won't help you. It will result in us not being able to be in touch with you and tell you if there are problems or issues with your case. So it does tell you how to do that change. If you move and your case is not completed yet, which is I define as a zero balance or a dismissal, whichever is appropriate to the case. Until that happens, there's a duty to keep everything up to date. If you move and don't tell us, that's the leading cause for contempt, warrants, things of that nature. So you're signing just saying you understand that duty. Page 4, which is quite short, somewhat reaffirms that, but what it tells you is that I will make a court order at some point in your case, and if I make a court order and you don't follow that court order and complete that court order, you are subject to being held in contempt. And that would mean, in this case, a hold being placed on your license and potentially an arrest being issued when you turn 17 or older, okay? And just understanding that those are outcomes that are possible if you fail to follow through, okay? And you're signing that as well.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
But basically, if you don't do what she tells you to do, you're in big trouble.
Essentially, yes. A good summary, Mom. And then the final form, which is labeled 5 and 6, is a long-winded legal explanation that I'm required to give you by law. But what it basically tells you is that you have the ability, if you're convicted of a single offense before you turn, in this case, 18, yes, that you can have the case removed from your record when you turn 18, provided you finished your case and you apply to this court and ask that the case be removed from your record. Okay. So your signature there just means you understand there's a method for removing this from your record in the future if that becomes relevant, if you're convicted. Now, I'm going to let y'all just kind of go through those and just hold tight a moment. I'm going to work with Ms. Warren and her folks, and I'll be right back with you. Looking for the gentleman. Let's see. He may be in the room still. Is he there? There he is. All right. Mr. Brentham, good morning. Ms. Warren, good morning.
Good morning.
Were y'all able to have a discussion regarding the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Brentham did change his plea to no contest. And He did also show that he has complied. And so what I've done is reduce the rubbish ticket from January 12th to court cost. And the ticket from December 16th for rubbish is the full price, which is the full fine and cost, $576. And so he also stressed an inability to pay that he needs to discuss with you on the fines and costs.
Okay, thank you, counsel.
Mhm.
Mr. Brentham, my understanding my understanding now is that the case from January 12th has been reduced to costs only. And then the other case, the full amount, and the plea has been changed. Am I understanding that your plea has changed to no contest on both cases? Okay. I'll enter that into the record then, based on the nod of your head. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Have you filled out a financial affidavit for the court yet?
I called this morning and they said that they had all the paperwork that I needed and I didn't need to do that.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to do that until we have a plea that requires it. Let me double check. They may have gotten that information from you. They need to not do that because we're online. Okay. Are you in a place where we can email that to you?
Through my phone.
Okay. You're going to need to print it. Are you in the Temple area?
Yes, I am in the Temple area.
Okay. What I'm going to do is ask you to swing by and fill out that application and let me look at that, because there are options available, for example, community service or payment plans. And I need to review your information before I can make such an order. So what I'm going to technically do is say that I'm rescheduling you to, what is my next available? Right, like Thursday. That is the 4th, is that right? Okay, we may be able to get this resolved before then, but I'm
Okay.
going to reset you for the 4th, which is Thursday. And if we don't have something in place by then, well, then we know at least we're going to get on here and discuss it further, okay?
Okay.
If you can swing by, fill out that form, sign that reset, I can probably email you a response and an order later today.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
literally right down the road.
Okay, we'll just, we'll leave paperwork at the front desk for you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Warren, I'll go ahead and reassign you back to the, I think you can just rejoin.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And then the next person is Cartea Bradley. Let me find Bradley. Okay, and then I will move forward. I would go ahead and do that reduction on Brentham and a reset form and a payment application form for him there. And let me get back to Ms. Taylor. Okay. Ms. Taylor, did you have any questions about the forms that we reviewed rather quickly?
No, ma'am.
Are there any you feel that you can't or shouldn't sign?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then we'll talk shortly about how to get those from you. But my next question is, the options for pleading are guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Do you feel like you understand those options?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On the charge of possession of tobacco by a minor, if you were to be found guilty, the costs and fines are $286, and the law requires upon conviction that I send you to a tobacco awareness class. Do you understand that outcome?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How are you pleading to that charge?
No contest.
Okay. Okay. Now, teen court is an option. And with teen court, we pay a $20 dismissal fee. Can you pay that fee today?
I would like to do that. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Speak up.
Um,
I want to.
I would like to do that, ma'am.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do is order that you take an online tobacco awareness class. Okay. And let me check with the clerk one moment. Is there a paper or community service to do with that? I believe so. Yeah. That assignment will be a little bit longer because normally there is, strangely enough, a type of tobacco awareness community service, which when we normally have things opened up is like an additional paper. I don't know if that's what those classes are doing, but I will assign a class that will cover both of those eventualities. Okay. And what I'm needing you to do today is to come sign for that and get a packet, which will tell you what you're going to do and what your deadlines are. But we're looking for the deadline of April 5th, a month from today, to get that class back from you. And I'll need your, not just for you to do it, but to complete it and turn in your certificate of completion. The company that you take it with will probably not do that for you. And even if they say they will, you're responsible for getting it to me. Okay. And you do that by dropping it off at the clerk's desk or scanning it over to our email, which is online, and it'll be in your paperwork as well. Okay. Do you have any questions about what is expected for you to do to gain a dismissal?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just the fee and the class. Okay.
Yes,
All right. So can y'all come before noon to sign the paperwork?
Yes,
ma'am.
yes,
And
ma'am.
I'll get to your question, and bring me all that paperwork as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Mom, you had a question?
Do you know, is there a charge for the class? Is it
Yes, there will be a
online?
charge. Yes, you'll pay for that class. You're not paying the court costs and fines, which is $286. Okay. You're paying $20 to us, and you're doing your class, paying for your class and bringing that to us plus your $20 fee.
Okay. And then do we pay the $20 fee today when we drop off the paperwork?
Yes, ma'am.
And can I use a credit card or do I need to bring cash?
I believe you need to bring cash.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Any further questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'll go ahead and remove y'all from the meeting. But if you get here and you have further questions, if a clerk can help you, they will either flag me down or we'll get an answer for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. What I'm going to do with that, because of the nature of that service, is the class that we have available, just whatever the maximum hours are going to be on that. No, just max the class out. I don't think any of these are going to work. Right, I understand, but what I'm saying is that Court Solutions, I think, has one. I'll be right with you all. Yeah, I'm going to let them elect because I think they're going to find those places are closed. It's really difficult, those DAAP approved classes. I mean, the legislature really needs to fix that, but I think it's a hardship at this point to try to get into one of those. Can I add that? I just put the note on the top. Thank you so much. See Ms. Warren. And look for. Bradley. Ms. Bradley, are you able to unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Let me just having a little visual problem. Let me fix that. Just not gonna let me see. Okay, were y'all able to have a discussion regarding Ms. Bradley's case?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Bradley did take the initiative and she took the theft intervention class.
Okay,
On that, I am going to offer a dismissal with that completion certificate on file with the court.
okay, I think, do we have that? We do. So the state is making a motion to dismiss?
Yes.
Okay, state, I will grant that motion to dismiss, and thank you. Ms. Bradley, I will sign that dismissal. If you'd like a copy, you're welcome to swing by and get a copy or send us a self-addressed stamped envelope and we'll mail it out to you either way.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for your time today. Glad y'all got it resolved. Ms. Bradley, I'm going to remove you from the meeting unless you have any further questions.
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good luck to you, Bradley, Miss Bradley.
Thank you all a lot.
Thank you, Ms. Warren. Okay, Ms. Warren, I'm actually going to move you forward. And I've had some difficulty with the, I don't know if he's here now, Mr. Sadiq has been sort of in and out of the meeting, I think having connectivity issues. So I will note that, but right now, not in the meeting. Unless, Mr. Sadiq, are you there? There is a person labeled 810 ending phone number. And if I could ask who might that be?
Hello?
Yes, tell me your name again. We've spoken already,
Victor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. I didn't write down your number. Sorry about that.
It's all right. I'm trying to figure this stuff out too.
Yes, we got you. Okay. But as far as Sadiq goes, I don't see Mr. Sadiq right now. So we're going to pass that over for now and move to the next person. And that's going to be Floyd Stark. And Ms. Warren, I will move you to the meeting room where I think you can just move, but I will ask Mr. Stark to move forward to that meeting room. So Mr. Stark, you should get an invitation now and you'll move to that room and we'll talk to you shortly, okay? Mr. Stark? Great. Okay. Let me go back to my list and let's talk to Ms. Kite. Ms. Kite, give me just a moment. Let me get your file pulled so that I can talk meaningfully with you about it. So I had granted community service for February 15th. Give me just a moment to review the file. Give me a moment, ma'am. The notes say these were denied because the hours were purchased. Is that your determination on this? Mhm. Okay. We are a registered 501c3. I haven't seen it before. I can understand the clerk responding that way, but my list does say any nonprofit. I guess I've seen it all. I have to change what I say, which is, and you cannot pay for it. But I don't think I have a choice but to accept these hours. Okay. Okay, so Ms. Kite, there was a discrepancy. Let me unmute you. Something I've never seen before is someone purchasing community service hours through a nonprofit.
Yes, ma'am.
But my list does say any nonprofit. So I will find that it substantially meets the requirements. I'm going to modify my forms for the future, because if you can pay for this, you can pay your fines and costs.
It was actually only $50 to pay
Uh-huh.
for those hours. And it was to
Yeah, but
better.
what I don't want is to compete with that, because
Oh, no, I completely understand.
what I don't want is for people saying, I can do this and then I can get rid of it faster this other way. That's not the spirit of it, but I will accept it. I don't think I have a choice.
Yes.
And I looked, and these are some quality things that it did do for you, I think.
I did choose classes I felt would benefit me the most.
Sure.
Anger management, abuse, different.
Yeah. And I think that's a good thing. It just puts a cycle in place that I'm not after. But at this time, I will accept the hours. Because it is a 501c3. And I'm making a note of that on your file.
Thank you.
And I will zero out your balance because it is 41 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
And that concludes your case. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thanks.
Any questions?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My father died yesterday, and I'm
so
really
sorry.
emotional. I'm so sorry. I really didn't mean to start crying.
It's okay. I would be too. Yeah, I would be too. Yeah. You hang in there, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Yes. And she made the meeting anyway, so that's impressive. All right, Jonathan, Joseph, let me find you. There you are. Okay, Mr. Joseph, I'm going to get your file pulled up and turn your background off, because all it's doing is giving me a shadow.
Okay, how do I turn that off?
You're going to need to go to your right corner, and really it has to do with selecting. I don't think I can turn it off for you, but I think you go up to your right corner. There you go. No, that's not you. And no, he's still just, he might be frozen.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to turn it off. I don't see where.
Well, the answer is however you turned it on. But what I think you can do is go to where it says video. On my screen, it's the bottom left. And when you click on that, you can choose a virtual background.
Got you. Okay.
There you go. Perfect.
All right.
Okay. Hold tight. I'll be right with you. I'm going to take Ms. Warren and Mr. Stark Mr. Stark, I've asked you to unmute, and Ms. Warren, let me get the file. There we go. Okay, were y'all able to have a meaningful discussion?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Stark did change his plea to no contest. And in
Okay.
exchange, I did reduce the fine from the $500 to $300. So now he owes a total of $319 with the court costs.
Okay,
Also, Mr. Stark did stress an inability to make that payment. And so I told him that you would have that discussion with him.
thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Stark, I will address that. Let me move Ms. Warren forward because she's got a full plate today. And so, Ms. Warren, that moves you to, I believe, let me double check. Yeah, Stacy, Alexander Stacy. And so, let me find that person. Alexander Stacy. There you go. Mr. Stacy, I'm going to actually invite you to move to the breakout room now with Ms. Warren. Let's see. And Ms. Warren will meet you there. Mr. Stark?
Yes, ma'am.
Just in looking, let me get, I have your affidavit. Could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that the information you are providing is true, correct, and accurate, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And your son, Jeff, is he disabled in any way?
Other than I can't get him to keep a job, no, ma'am.
Okay. And that was going to be my next question. So you got them
I'm
both.
pulling my hair out over that. I've tried everything.
I understand. But your bills look reasonable. Is the Nissan in your name?
Yes, ma'am. Matter of fact, the Nissan and the 2 motorcycles are in my name. And
Okay.
that's why he said he didn't see the ticket. Of course, I didn't know anything about it until I got the paperwork in the mail. And then I called him up and he says, I never saw one. And now we're here.
Okay. On your application, what I'm seeing is that we could do a payout.
Oh, that would be
And
nice. I
have-
think I could do it in 2 payments.
Oh, okay. Because what I would normally say is, let's order $50 a month, and if you want to pay more, you can, and just pay it off early because that won't impact you in a negative way at all. Okay?
And will this be? I had my face crushed, and it damaged my frontal lobe, so my short-term memory is bad. It's real
Okay.
bad.
I'm sorry.
So is there a way that we could do this where it could be automatically taken out and I don't have to remember to do it each month?
We don't have authority to do that. However, what we will do, and I'm going to ask you to swing by the court today,
Yes, ma'am.
is go ahead and sign up for that payment, and then we'll print it out for you in a printout for you to just hang up by your calendar reminder sheets. Because I'm sure you have a system. But when do you receive retirement?
When did I receive it? Back in 2000. Oh, what date?
Yes.
On or before the 24th of each month.
Okay.
It's never after.
Can you make a payment today?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay. So if you'll come to the court now, and then we'll print that out to be another payment on the 24th, a payment today, a payment on the 24th, and then always on the 24th. What I'll tell you is if you miss a payment, we will send you a letter saying, hey, whoops, we're missing a letter. So, I mean, we're missing a payment. Okay.
Okay,
So we will do a backup reminder before we do anything negative. And you're welcome to pay it off as soon as you want to.
oh, thank you, thank you.
So I'm just doing it like a minimum payment.
And now that court address, was that the one that was on this 401 North Third?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Okay. So come on by and we'll print that out for you and hopefully that'll be enough. But if not, we'll send you a reminder.
and I heard you tell somebody else earlier to call before you come in.
When you
What-
get here,
Yes, ma'am.
there's a phone number on the door. Just call.
Okay,
And that way we know you're here and we'll walk you through getting into the building.
okay,
Okay.
great. Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Stark. We'll see you
Thank you.
shortly. Come
Do
on
I,
over, okay?
do I hit a leave button or anything?
No, I'll just remove you and you're good to exit and come on by.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Sir. Okay, back to you, Jonathan. Let's see, let me unmute you again, Mr. Joseph.
Okay.
I called you Jonathan because it's written on the screen, but Mr. Joseph,
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, no disrespect. The charge is a theft charge. And first, I want to ask you, do you feel like you understand the options for pleading of guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
No, ma'am. I really don't understand.
Okay, so guilty means I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not guilty means I'm contesting it.
Mhm.
And no contest means I'm not going to say yes, I did it. I'm not going to say I didn't do it. I'm not contesting it. I just want to move forward with sentencing.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you plead guilty or no contest, we move forward with sentencing. If you plead not guilty, we back up and start moving toward trial.
Yes,
Does
ma'am.
that make more sense to you?
Yes, ma'am. It does.
Okay. How are you pleading to the charge of theft?
I plead no contest.
Okay. Now, are you in school or have you graduated? What's your status for school?
Yes, ma'am. I'm at Temple College. I'm attending
Okay.
college right now.
Okay. Let me just check real quick. Has he been on time? Minus the disaster holiday. Definitely on time. Okay. So what I'm going to tell you, sir, is that we actually have a program that the prosecutor has put in place with me, and that allows for a first offense like this one, a theft, that you can take a class, a theft intervention class.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
will reschedule you. You'll have a month to get it done. You'll come back into the Zoom meeting. You'll turn in your certificate of completion for that class beforehand, and I'll sign a dismissal without you paying fines and costs.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
To do that, I need you to sign off on rescheduling, which would be April 5th.
All right.
And I need to give you the class information that you can take online. Okay.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to do that. Then.
Yeah, it's very far reaching. I don't know. You said you're at Temple College. That's great.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you heading to do? What are your goals?
I'm here. I'm actually on the basketball team. I play for the basketball team at Temple, and I'm just looking to transfer out and go to a bigger school, and keep going with my career in basketball in school.
Okay. Well, those schools, they want to see someone who's not getting in trouble.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So that's immediate. And then if you ultimately do something else with your life, you don't want a theft on your record.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
immediately it's pretty important, and long term it's pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
Can you swing by in the next hour and sign off on the documents to reschedule?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, I could.
Okay. All right. I'll have everything at the front desk for you. When you get here, just expect to mask up and go through a couple of questions, okay?
All right. All right. Thank you.
You know where we're located?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Stacy, Ms. Warren, let me get Mr. Stacy's file. There we go. Okay. Regarding sterilization and rabies, the allegation dates September 20th and October 1st. Were y'all able to visit?
Yes, Your Honor, and Mr. Stacy did change his pleas to no contest. In exchange, I have reduced the fail to notify rabies to court cost of $76. And then the sterilization ticket will remain the $226 in fine costs.
Okay.
And Mr. Stacy did say that he can make the full payment within 30 days.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Warren.
Mhm.
Mr. Stacy, hold tight for just a moment. I'm going to move Ms. Warren forward.
Yes.
With Mr. Victor Martin. Mr. Martin is actually on a phone call, Ms. Warren, but I will move him to the breakout room now.
Okay.
Mr. Warren, you're going to receive something that tells you you'll click and you'll move to another room and you'll be visiting with Ms. Warren. Okay. So he did that quite easily. Okay. And so, Mr. Stacy, there you are. What I would do is say, can you come by and sign for that payment plan of 30 days this morning, please?
I have work in a couple hours, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is there any way I could do it sometime this week?
No.
No.
Can
Okay.
you accept it on an email and then
Yes, ma'am.
print it and scan it or photograph it back over to us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need it today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll send that email to you now. It'll probably be a few moments. And then I need it before close of business. So you might do that before you go to work as your goal.
Yes, ma'am.
And just print it, read it, sign it, scan it back over to us. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. He's 30 days to pay. The reduction is on the rabies case. Costs only on that one, full amount on the other, payment within 30 days plus a payment application. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because he would do one if he came to the window. Okay, my next person, let's see. Mr. Joseph's been resolved. Moving to Angelica Maldonado. Let's see. Hello, Miss Maldonado. I'm asking you to unmute. Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Maldonado, give me just a quick moment. I'm getting your case pulled up. It's funny because there are actually two Maldonados today, and I don't know if y'all are related, but I'm visiting first with Angelica Maldonado. And Ms. Maldonado, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Let me just take a moment and review. Let's see. And I am sorry for your loss, ma'am. Okay. Are you living, Ms. Angelica Maldonado, are you living with family?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I would ask you, we have a balance with an old payment plan on your insurance charge, and we'll just wrap everything together that we're looking at on this next one. The next one is a theft under $100. Do you understand your options for pleading of guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you pleading to the theft under $100?
No contest.
Okay. Is she a first offender? I'm just reviewing your case history. And does it look like she's on time? Minus, it's noted. Oh, that was in the middle of it. Yeah. She's great. Okay. So, Ms. Maldonado, one thing that I want to let you know is that you're on time for court, and we do have a program for first offenders of theft that allows you to take a theft intervention class and not pay anything to the court and turn it in on time, which would be a month from today, and gain a dismissal off of your record of that charge. Are you interested in that program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then what I'm going to do is on your insurance charge, I have reviewed your financial information, and I'm going to order that the balance, give me just a moment. On that financial form, I mean, do we just have fines left over? Yes. Her previous charge of FMFR. Are we down to court costs alone? I think that we are. We satisfy court costs first. Well, that's the law, so hopefully we're applying it properly. No, they didn't. Okay. Okay, let's reschedule that. I'll consider waiving that on her next court date, which is April 5th. She's had a loss in the family that's dramatic. Okay, Ms. Maldonado,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to reschedule the insurance balance charge of the case to the same date that I want to get your certificate of completion back on the theft. And what I need you to do is either, can you come by and we can reset you to April 5th and give you class information?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, we're going to reschedule both cases to April 5th and hoping that I get the class completed from you before that date so that we can visit about a possible dismissal at that time. Can we expect you before noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Maldonado. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to remove you from the meeting so that you can head on out, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Ms. Warren was meeting with Mr. Martin. Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Martin is still in the breakout room because he's on the phone, and I think you have to bring him in.
No problem. It's not letting me move him.
So he did stick with his not guilty plea.
Okay.
And I could tell him that he just needs to appear or.
Yes.
Okay.
He needs to come up and do his paperwork at the front desk today.
Okay.
Oh, he's already set. He's already been set.
Okay.
So what is his final trial date? He's scheduled for April 7th at 3.
Okay.
If you could just let him know, and then he can just go ahead and exit.
Okay.
If he doesn't exit, come back and let me know, and I'll just close that room and start another room.
Okay, I'll do that.
I don't know the reason, but see if he'll leave. I'll monitor it, and if he doesn't, then you might get booted out, but you'll have to rejoin.
Okay.
Okay. Let me let you do that, and as soon as I see him either leave or you return, if he leaves, I'll put the next person in, and that's actually going to be Tina Bauer. She'll be next. Okay. Ms. Bauer, I will move you to that meeting in just a moment. I want to
Yes,
make
ma'am.
sure that that room is cleared. I don't know that we're having any trouble with that person. We probably are not. I didn't get that sense at all. So she's just letting him know that he's good to go.
Yes, ma'am.
And once I see that happen, I'll move you there. You'll get an invitation to move. And I'm going to move to Abigail Maldonado here in just a moment. There we go. Okay, you'll get that invitation at this time. Thank you. Ms. Maldonado, what's on Martin? I don't know that I need anything, and this is on Angelica Maldonado. Thank you. And Abigail Maldonado is our next person. Okay. Ms. Maldonado, give me a moment just to review your file. Hold on just a moment.
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you today?
16.
Do you have a parent present with you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay, great. What is your name, please?
Melanie Galt.
Again?
It's Melanie Galt, Gault.
Thank you, Ms. Gold.
Thank you.
So we did send paperwork for you regarding your rights. Did you receive that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, certainly.
Okay. The page mark number 1 are your magistrate warnings. I know you heard me give those to someone else earlier, but you are charged with theft under $100. You do have the right to have an attorney present to represent you and to hire that attorney. You have an option or a right to have an attorney present prior to and during any interviews or questioning by peace officers or attorneys representing the state. You do have the right to remain silent, and you're not required to make a statement, but any statement you make can and may be used against you in court. And you have the right to stop any interviews or questioning at any time. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you make a signature on that form and turn it into me later today?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay. The next form, which has a number 2 at the bottom, just tells you that we have your address listed at the top. If that address has not changed, then you check the first box and sign off. Are there any changes to that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I will move you forward to the next document and we'll get your signature. We'll talk about how to get that from you later. The next form just tells you to please confirm your date of birth and for mom to confirm her date of birth. And then you're signing at the bottom saying you know that there is an ongoing duty to keep your address current with the court at all times until your case is completed. Do you understand that duty?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the page mark number 4 tells you exactly that if I make a court order in your case, you have a duty to follow that court order. And if you fail to do so, you can be held in contempt of court, which could lead to additional fines, potentially your arrest when you're an adult. So whatever order we get into today, I would need you to follow it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Therefore, make sure you understand, okay?
Okay.
And then your final form tells you that if you receive a conviction of this offense before you turn 17, when you turn 17, as long as you've completed your case, you have the right to apply to the court and have the matter removed from your permanent record. Do you understand that option?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is she on time? Again, minus them. Okay, very good. Well, it is because it was during the disaster. So. Okay, So, Ms. Maldonado, we have a theft intervention charge against you. The costs and fines, if you paid the full ticket, are $296. How are you pleading to that charge?
No content.
Okay.
Contest.
No
I'm sorry.
contest. You're fine. Don't worry. Do you have any questions about that plea and what that means?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you do qualify, and I know you've heard me talk about it, but for our theft intervention program, first offenses where the person remains on time to court, which you have minus the snowvid thing that we experienced altogether. You've been very good about keeping up with your case. And so stay on time, and I would reschedule you to April 5th to bring back completion of a certificate of completion of a theft intervention class. And if you do so, I will be able to sign a dismissal. You think you can accomplish that?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay. I'll need you to come up to the court today to sign for that program and reset. And we'll give you class intervention, theft intervention class information as well while you're here. Can we expect you, can we get you here before noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mom, do you have any questions?
Does she need to be there with me when I go up there?
You have to sign. You have to sign. A parent needs to sign. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can we get it done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, we will
I'm gonna,
be there.
Ms. Maldonado, let me ask you a question. What are your goals when you get older? What do you want to do?
I want to be a flight attendant. I've always wanted to travel.
Wonderful. You need to get
Yes.
this, you need to keep this off your record.
Okay.
You need to learn the most you can learn because no one will hire you if they think you steal.
Okay.
Right? And so this is your opportunity to learn everything you can from this class. And what the class will do for you is by the end of this class, you will have a plan for not if, but when you are tempted to do this again, because that temptation won't evaporate overnight just by not wanting to do it again. Okay. That temptation
Yes.
is going to be there until you develop a strategy for how to handle yourself when that happens to you. Okay. So get the class done, take it seriously, do it one time, get it turned in, and never go back. That's the goal that I have for you. I'm sure your mother agrees with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And I'm sure that you see the logic of that.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thefts are the
Sorry.
kind of thing that will stay with you for a long time. Okay. And even though it's, quote, just a class C, it can deeply affect you. And we want to interrupt that now and get you back on track. Okay.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All
I
right.
understand.
Okay. We'll see you at the front. Yes, ma'am. We'll see you at the front desk shortly. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Left intervention. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to remove y'all so you can drive on over.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. My next person is going to be Maldonado. So Noah Gimble. Before I do that, Mr. Dalton, are you driving a car?
No, ma'am. I am at work. My boss is driving me.
Okay. All right. Brittany's phone, that's, I believe, Mr. Gimble, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Mr. Gimble, how old are you today?
I'm 15.
Okay. Where do you go to school?
Lake Belton High School.
And what grade are you in?
9th. freshman.
Okay, great. The charge we have is possession of tobacco by a minor. And I need to confirm some things with you first. Did you receive the packet, the long packet of paperwork that we sent to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have that with you now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the first one are your rights. You're charged with the offense of possession of tobacco by a minor, which is a misdemeanor. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. You have the right to have an attorney present to advise you during any interviews and questioning by peace officers or attorneys representing the state. You have the right to remain silent. You're not required to make any statement, but any statement made by you can and may be used against you in court. You have the right to stop any interviews or questioning at any time. You understand these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you feel that you can then make signature on that document today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This one.
Is there someone in the room coughing or?
It's a dog.
I'm sorry. I'll try to calm him down. I apologize.
It's just that those condenser mics, they pick up sound like big time. I have you listed the address on page 2 at the top. Has that address changed?
No, ma'am.
It's
Okay.
actually wrong on the form, ma'am.
Okay. It's wrong?
Yes, ma'am. They put 1001 and it's actually 1017.
Okay, and so you're actually going to go down to the next box, check the information is incorrect, and you're going to correct that.
Okay.
Is that in Temple?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, everything else correct, just the number wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
And the correct number is 1017?
Yes, ma'am. 1017. Or
Okay.
yes, 10017. I'm sorry.
10017.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so then you're signing, and we'll get that from you later. Okay. The next form just lets you know that you have a duty to keep that address current at all times until your case is completed. You're filling out the dates of birth at the top and signing at the bottom. After that, we have a form that tells you that when I make a court order today, if you do not follow that court order, you are at risk of being held in contempt. That's page 4. Page 4. And then finally, page 5 and 6 tells you with the tobacco charge, when you turn 18, if you have a conviction on your record, you're able to apply to the court and have it removed from your record. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Now, on possession of tobacco by a minor, the fines and costs are $181. If you're found guilty, you would be responsible for that amount, and you would also be responsible for, if convicted, completing a tobacco awareness class. Do you understand those consequences?
Yes, ma'am.
To the charge, how are you pleading?
Wait, what did you say?
Yes. To that charge, how are you pleading?
No contest.
Okay. We normally begin with the idea that teen court would be the best option. With teen court, instead of paying $181, you would pay $20. Can you pay that fee today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then I will send you to a tobacco awareness class and to pay your $20 fee. I have a list of classes, and you'll pick from the list that I provide and complete your class no later and turn it in no later than April 5th. And if you do that, then I will waive the remaining balance of 181 and dismiss the charge, and it will not be reflected as a conviction on your record. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so I want to ask if y'all can get up here today to sign your paperwork and pay the $20 fee.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You know where we're located?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll have that at the front desk available for you. Any
Thank you.
questions? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Are we good on that one? Okay. Mr. Dalton. Still. I do have, you had printed his form out for me, even though for whatever reason I missed it on my list. He was there. I just overlooked it somehow. So, of all things, he is. There he is. Okay, Mr. Stith, excuse me.
Yeah, okay.
Good morning. Last but certainly not least. So my question for you is, do you understand the options for pleading guilty, not guilty, and no contest?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you pleading to the speeding charge where the costs and fines are $257?
No contest.
Okay. Let's see. Let me review your case for just a moment. Do we know his court date? I mean, is he basically on time? Okay. I do have your payment application, and it looks like, let me see. Your son, is he living with you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you required to pay child support for him?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And is, you have insurance listed here. Is your insurance for your vehicle, or it's $265, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have roommates?
No, ma'am. I had a big ordeal recently happen. I went to jail recently over stuff that happened in between my family. So I live with a friend right now, but I still pay for my apartment so that I can get my son back to living with me and my girl.
Okay. And your rent is how much?
My rent is $675 if I'm correct.
Okay. Are you looking for a payment plan?
I'm looking to try and do community service if possible.
I show that you are qualified for me to do that. And so I will make that order at this time. It does come to 13 hours of community service.
Okay.
You're going to have to come by and sign for that. I don't allow payment of community service, but it must be a nonprofit. I have a list of places where you can do the work, and you will need to sign for a waiver form as well. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I need to get that from you today. I can email it to you if you can print it, sign it, and scan it back to me to the court, or take a readable photograph of it, of the paperwork, and send it back to me. Or you can come by and do it. Which one are we going to go for?
What time do y'all close?
I would say you would want to be here by 4:40 if you're going to get in and get it done and get out before 5. Do you have a lunch break?
Yeah, I do, but I'd be driving around a lot. And what should the best process be, boss? We don't have a printer available right now.
So you'll need to come up here.
Are y'all able to send a PDF and I'd be able to sign it on my phone?
No.
No. Can we stop by the shop and me grab my car? I'll be up there to sign it. Sometime today. I have to stop by the shop and grab my vehicle, and whenever I'm free, I'll be there to sign it.
Okay, that works. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, let's see where we are. Sorry? He did. Yes. Okay, I'm just gonna make some notes on these other cases because it does look like, let's see, granted. I don't see anybody waiting to get in. I'm just gonna double check. Nope. Yes. He's a full-time working person. So. Okay, on Khan, he's just a no-show on all three. Jacob McDavid, it sounds like he's still current on his payment plan.
Yes.
So-
that might be why he did not appear. 'Cause he doesn't do the week, but then they put him on Zoom, which is probably the one.
Right. It may be that nothing's needed on that one. Tyler Mayer, I guess I'm glad I didn't recall any warrants because he's not gonna bother. Sorry? Yeah, I didn't recall, and obviously that was the right choice. Okay, that's mine. Bauer. I don't know what that sound is for, but. Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually I can hear that when someone's trying to come in, but there isn't. There isn't anyone. Gulzaid Sadiq logged in 3 different times. I don't know if that was technical problems or just, but we might call. Do we have a phone number handy? I'll do it.
Oh, sorry.
What's the number?
541. 51.
254? That's just driving me bananas. There's no chat. There's no participant trying to get in. There's no. Maybe someone's trying to get in and can't. I don't know. But normally they'll call and say, I'm trying to get in and can't. Okay, let me see if I can get him by phone. He had community service, right? No, I don't have police on him.
Hello?
Yes, I'm trying to reach Mr. Sadiq. Are you Gulzaid Sadiq?
Excuse me?
Are you Gulzaid Sadiq?
Yes, I'm the president.
Okay, I am Judge Person. Is there a reason you're not in the meeting right now?
Oh, yeah, I am ready now.
Okay, why don't you call into the meeting, please, because I have you on phone. I'm going to hang up and let you call into the meeting.
Okay.
This wasn't convenient for him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's get anything. He had community. No, he has driver safety. When was it due?
Who?
Sadiq. It's a DSC. It looks like it was due.
It's already done. Is it not done? So DSC documents, Mary's coming in 2-3. Oh, he just signed up for it on 2-3. So he's not due until May 4th. Well, I put the notes in there. Mary, did you go note?
It looks like he signed up recently for DSC. So I don't think it's due, but I'm just going to double check.
Yeah, he's not due till May 4th. But he signed up 2-3. So yeah, he was just.
And then the no license.
Wait, how did he get driver's safety if he doesn't have a license?
He probably got it.
He issued 3/13 of 2017.
Yeah, he had it.
So he should have been.
Did he miss a court date? Because if he's on time, I might have something to help him there.
He's on time.
Okay, let me see if I've got a. He hasn't tried to log in yet. Cheese and crackers, right? Okay. Ms. Warren, Ms. Bauer, have y'all had a chance to review the cases?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Bauer has 4 cases, and she did show me the property through her phone. There was a couple of issues that we talked about, and they're minor compared to how we started. And so she's going to pick that up between now and next week. going to find that she has complied. And so she has changed her plea to no contest on all the tickets. And in exchange, I've reduced the rubbish ticket from January 12th to court costs of $81. I've reduced the outside storage from January 12th to $81. And then December 2nd, both citations will remain the same costs and fines,
Okay.
$576. And then also Ms. Bauer did tell me that her and her husband had COVID, and so they're kind of struggling to recover, and she's requesting community service.
Okay, I'll address that with her. I need to review her payment application. Let's see. Ms. Bauer?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm reviewing your affidavit of ability to pay.
Yes, ma'am.
I understand y'all are behind because you had the challenge of COVID, but I'm wondering, are you still both employed at the same place? He was with the Guard and you were with Scott and White?
Yes, ma'am. Currently, that is correct.
Okay. Are you paid every 2 weeks?
Yes, at this point I am. I'm part of the department in Scott and White that's being transferred or outsourced. So I'm going to be moving to a new company in April, and they're going to go to bi-monthly.
Okay. All right. When you get the new information, just bring it by or send it to us.
Yes, ma'am.
Go with where we are right now. And you have 2 minor children living in the home with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Do y'all receive food stamps or any other assistance at this time?
No. The only assistance we're on is our mortgage forbearance. So we're still currently 6 months behind, and that may also change in April. I'm working on trying to work with them on that also.
The mortgage is how far behind?
I believe it's at 6 months at this point because I was able to make a payment. I pay every 2 weeks and then it accumulates to a payment. So, but yes, we're still, I have the papers on that if you need it too. I believe it's at 6 months. Yes, ma'am.
I'm okay.
Okay.
How far behind is your electric bill?
We're 30 days behind on the electric and the gas. I have payment arrangements also on them.
And the
like
water?
That one is current.
Okay.
That one's not very much.
Okay. Car payments, are those being made?
We don't have a car payment. We own both of our vehicles.
That's helpful right now.
Yes,
Sure.
ma'am. Thank you very much.
Has your income changed?
No, it's just my husband has had to miss quite a bit of work because of the COVID.
Okay.
He had it for like 3.5 months, and he had to miss multiple days. He was hospitalized a couple of different times. So the same money, just not as the hours when he couldn't work. Yes, ma'am.
I'm following you.
Okay.
And I guess something similar happened to you as well.
Yes, ma'am. I had COVID. Of course, I had time off to cover mine. But like I said, he missed quite a bit over 3.5 months, so it was really hard. And then he worked security, so previous to that, he had 2 other possibles, and he had to be quarantined. And he was only, so he missed out because the first one was during, I guess, when we had that order where they would pay them, and after that he didn't, so we didn't have any paychecks for him for those times.
Okay. The court, I will go ahead and order community service. Let me get your total.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The good thing with community service is I can give you a deadline and then I can give you an extension. So we have, as long as you're keeping up with it, you can fill it in as you're able. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's fine.
It turns into 66 hours for all 4 cases combined total.
Okay.
And I have a form for you to sign and also a list of possible providers where you can do the work in the community where I know people are pretty friendly to it. And I'll start with 60 days. If you can't get it all done by then, that's fine. You just get online and send us an email and ask for an extension and send us any hours you've done. And as long as I see just something's moving, happening, if not, we need to talk about why you can't get it done because sometimes things happen. So I just will take that as it comes. Okay.
Okay.
But for now, I'm going to order 66 hours due by May 3rd, or you apply for an extension. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And I know of food banks and stuff. I've worked a few things like that before that I can fit into my schedule.
Okay. Well, food banks are really good right now because they need all the help they can get.
I have some experience. I ended up running the warming shelter at our church for 4 days. So I have some connections now, so I can definitely work that into my schedule with no problem.
That is excellent. It's been really breathtakingly positive to watch our community come together the way that we have.
Yes, it's very awesome.
And I thank your church for that as well. What I do want to tell you is, we don't donate food for hours, but so it's hour for hour because I've already given triple credit up front.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to print things and sign them at home and get them back to us? Or do you want to swing by to sign the paperwork for this today? Instead?
If I can come at my lunchtime, I would be able to come up there. Probably be easier. Yes, ma'am.
Perfectly fine. We'll have it available ready for you. Okay.
Okay, then.
You know where we're located?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any questions?
No, ma'am. Just thank y'all very much for your help on all that. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry y'all been through so much, but it looks like things are looking better, and I hope that'll continue for you.
Yes, this will very much help too. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. I'm glad everything got resolved. So we're good. We're good to go there. All right.
Yeah.
I'll remove you from the meeting. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Warren, there's one gentleman who actually was on your docket. And I think what's happened, he's logged in a few times, and then I called him and said, "Where are you?" And I can't tell if there's a language barrier or what's going on, but he hasn't logged back in, even though I reached him by phone, Mr. Sadiq. And what appears to be the issue, he had a companion case and he signed up for driver safety. He was on time and everything for that. And he brought in his license, and his license says 2017 that it was issued, but they wrote him for no driver's license. They didn't issue him for failing to show his license. He's on time, but I wouldn't be able, I think that I moved him to that docket because I failed to show a license. I can totally dismiss that because he showed it when he got here. on
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
But for no driver's license, which he had at the time,
Yeah.
it's just an improperly filed thing.
Okay.
Is the state willing to make a motion for?
Yes,
for this?
Your Honor, I move to dismiss that case.
Okay, I think rather than have him go to Warren, I don't know if he's having technical problems.
Mhm.
There he is. He's been in like 3 or 4 different times, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it's like he's just waiting for his turn and thinks that's acceptable. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But here he is. So, Mr. Sadiq, can you hear me? Okay. He's not connected yet to the audio. So am I able to just count on that dismissal coming from you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he, substantially, he's in the running. Hi, Mr. Sadiq. Good morning. It's trying to connect your audio. What I don't know is whether you can hear me. Okay. I'm going to type a message, so maybe that will help.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you. I typed a message to you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? Can you read the chat? Okay. We'll call him
Okay.
and I'll let him know that you have made that motion and that I will sign it.
Okay.
And with that, we are done for today. I'll call him at this point and try to connect to him.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Warren.
Have a good
Appreciate
day.
your time today.
Mhm.
Oh, where is he? 54151. Let's see, maybe it'll work to just get him on the sound.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Sadiq. This is Judge Person again.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you.
I can hear you and
It's-
I showed you my ID, I signed up for ID.
Yes, sir. We found a copy of your license when you signed up for driver safety. And so the attorney for the state has made a motion to dismiss that charge. So I will sign that dismissal. And with that driver's license charge, you're finished. Okay, it's done. Just remember your driving class and your driving record are due May 4th. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Dismiss?
Yes, the license charge is dismissed.
Okay, I showed you the license. You need a license. I need to give a copy of license too.
Yes, that's right. We saw that.
What I do is that I take it off and I give you the certificate, and driving record.
Yes, by May 5th, May 4th. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Yep, that's right. I just don't care.